Hello there.
Howdy.
How you doing there, my friend?
Doing good, bro. I had to hit him with Jimmy from Explore the Forces intro, and we're here, dude. We're here. Absolutely.
Nice. Nice. So very excited today. So for those that are friends or just kind of happened upon us today, um, as you know, Brandon was a guest of ours on the Star Wars podcast, and we just hit it off, and we came up with a new segment that we're going to be doing on a monthly basis, where we're going to recap Lego Star Wars and Star Wars Funko Pops and do kind of like a monthly wrap up of things that are announced, rumors and leaks, things that are, actually hitting the stores and things that are actually we're getting in the mail. So a good way to kind of keep up to the news of everything bricks and pops, which is the name of our new show here. So Brandon, what do you got to say, my friend?
Dude, this is really cool. There's a lot of collaboration within the Instagram realm of everyone who I always refer to this as like the Star Wars circle that we have on Instagram, and everyone, supportive of everyone, vice versa. And I mean, there's so many different things that you can do with different people within the community. So this is a good one right here because I really wanted to start my YouTube channel, Clan Brandalorian, out as a Lego channel where I reviewed sets, vice versa. And I didn't really have like a good camera at the time. So now that I'm up a little bit, I can actually get some of my Lego needs and wants out of the way in content creating. So this is the perfect platform for me to go ahead and throw all that information to. So this is going to be pretty dope, which also Funko as well. That's what you see behind me. If my chair wasn't so large, you could see all the Legos behind me. So yeah, we got a lot going.
Nice. Nice. Well, I know my good friend, and you know him as well, Will from Padawan Pops, had
Yeah.
recently sent me a package, and I really wasn't sure exactly what it was and who it came from at first. And then I found out it was from Will. And Will said, knowing that we got him into the Star Wars Funko sodas, he wanted to lure me down the dark path of Star Wars Lego. So he sent me none other than
The UCS Millennium Falcon.
no, I wish, right? The UCS. Woo! Will, you're a great friend. No, but he sent this
Hey.
little sucker. Right? Yeah. So, very cool, very cool, very thankful. So we'll have gone down that path just a little bit, just a little bit.
Such a fire set though.
Yeah.
Microfighters are awesome.
And I've had to do some homework, in preparing to do these kind of broadcasts and stuff, because I'm not as schooled in the like you are. So I needed for myself to kind of, do some homework, kind of looking back the history of some of the minifigs, UCS sets, all, and it's quite. I think in the last few weeks trying to prepare for our show today, even it was just a lot of learning. So very excited.
Yeah.
My son's really in the Lego, but he does everything from Buzz Lightyear to the Lego City Fire Station and the ladder truck and you name it. He still has the Razor Crest, and he hasn't even put it together yet. It's not the UCS, it's the original big Razor Crest set. Hasn't even put it together yet. So I think that'll be a cool summer project for the two of us to work on.
Yeah, that's going to be a good one.
Yeah. And I do have a friend that's moving, and I told him I would gladly house in my beautiful archive here any of his Lego sets that he wants, because he's got like the Tantive and some really nice larger pieces. I was like, if you need to keep them anywhere, I've got plenty of shelving. I can make room for them.
They may or may not return to you.
Right. Well, he's been nice enough because I have for my son, my son has, but we play with it together. I got him the Air Hogs. What is it? The drone for the Millennium Falcon, the small one.
Oh, okay. I think I've seen that
When
at
my buddy
Target.
was moving, he's like, if you can hold on this, I still have it down here. And I've got his ginormous one. It's bigger than my monitor. It's massive.
Damn.
Massive. So it's like 4 times the size of the one that I got my son. And so we've taken that out to the park once or twice. It's pretty cool. It's pretty
Tight.
cool. You just got to be careful because the park right down our street is very close to I-95. he took the small one and flew it over the highway. I was like, no, bring it back, bring it back. All we need to have is like a fucking 5-car pile up due to a Millennium Falcon drone flying over 95.
Hey,
So
that could be the Phoenix incident all over again. We were just talking about that.
yeah, right. So crazy, crazy. So I think today for our first episode, we are very excited to really kind of dive into where we're going to be going with Star Wars and Star Wars Lego in particular, with that new trailer dropping for a new series, Rebuild the Galaxy. So very, very excited to jump into that in a few moments. Did you want to take a look at the chat and see what we got going on there?
Yeah, pull them in.
All right, so we've got Ricky from Pop the Bounty Collector.
You're
Yer. I know Ricky Ricky hit 1K. He's already at 16. He'll be by 2K by the end of the weekend, probably. But
Ricky
yeah, he's been
2K.
killing it. I was on his live stream. I know you've had him on recently, so very cool.
Yes.
The godfather of YouTube to me, my buddy Christopher over there. Seriously, Star Wars morning, gents. Morning, Christopher. There you go. There you go.
I want to put this on something, but I
Ricky
can't.
2K in the house. Exactly. Ricky 2K. Clan Mandalorian out there. What's popping?
What's good, Clan Brandalorian? How you doing, bro?
Seriously, Star Wars with Darth Jar Jar. Yeah, I'm pretty psyched for that. Nice. Christopher giving some high fives. Got another Mr. Y2K. Good morning. Pop the Bounty Collector said.
Good morning, bro.
I have the Slave One Microfighter. Great build, small enough and cheap enough for me. Yeah, right. It doesn't break the bank. It's not a poly bag, but it might as well be. It's very small. I know that my son liked that, and the one that he got a lot of play and enjoyment out of was, I think it was just it was just a play action poly bag of nothing but Mandalorians. It was awesome. And he was kind of playing that with his Buzz Lightyear set, and I guess they were commandeering Buzz Lightyear's craft at the time. So,
see, he could have started his own What If series right there.
Right? Absolutely. So, speaking of What If, that's a great segue to what we're here today for, to take a look at the trailer. What are your thoughts before we take a look at it?
My initial thoughts when I first saw this trailer, I was like, yes, because I do not want a Star Wars What If series. I know Marvel has their thing where they do the What If, and I feel like that's a Marvel thing. It doesn't need to be a Star Wars thing, because in my opinion, the What If scenarios, leave that to content creators like us. We'll do that. There's no need, because I feel like we already have Legends, which is to me kind of a What If. Just especially since it's not canon. Me, I like to stay strictly canon, leave all Legends content to the side, but I would have been a little disappointed if we got a Star Wars What If series. And speaking of Lego, the Dark Millennium Falcon, the X-Wing versus TIE fighter set that's coming out, it's where you can swap the wings on each ship. I'm like, okay, we can't have a What If series on Disney Plus where this is the topic. So as we watch the trailer, you'll kind of see what goes on, but I am very happy that this is just another Lego installment for Disney Plus, which we're very, very due for that. So
do you think it's going to be just a single movie, or do you think it's going to be a series?
it could be a series. I'm not too sure yet, but I mean, I would love to see a movie, maybe an hour long. That's usually how they go. Like if we get the Halloween or Christmas specials for Lego Star Wars, roughly an hour long. But yeah, if if it was a series, it would do well, I think. I mean, I feel like since like COVID quarantine, a lot of people have got into like the Lego realm of things. So much time.
Well, you had that other show, the Star Wars Lego Builders or whatever, Builders of the Galaxy or whatever that was.
Oh yeah.
Which is kind of cool. So I wasn't sure if this is going to be like an extension or spin-off of that, be its own series, or just like you said, maybe a special, like a 1 hour kind of feature. But either way, it looks pretty cool. See, I do kind of like a what if AI generated kind of like a reel, like usually I call it What If Wednesdays in my head is kind of how I do it. And
Yeah.
I've been just doing like using some AI, creating kind of Funko Pop images of a what if, and then use AI to write a short story that I'm looking to, here's some key things that I want to put in
Yeah.
the short story, and it does pretty. It's kind of fun. Um, so for me, I do like the Marvel what if. I just think that's phenomenal. I love the
Hmm.
animation. It's just really cool. But I felt if they were going to do a what if in Star Wars, this kind of made sense. Like I wouldn't mind an animated series just of that, but I feel that the Lego kind of lends something more fun because we've all watched and probably played. Like even myself, I'm not a huge gamer, but I've played the Star Wars Lego. I have the saga, and it's
Yes.
it's awesome. It's fun. You love the
It's so fun.
cutscenes and stuff. So, and they've done so many. And I say Lego has done so many really great little animations. Like they had a great little short video just for the 25 years of Star Wars Lego, and it
Yeah.
incorporated everything from starting us out with the Phantom Menace, perfect for the 25-year anniversary of Phantom Menace. But I mean, it segued into Fallen Order, the Kenobi series, like Ahsoka, like it hit on all of those parts and it did a really cool job. So very
Yeah.
excited for that. But I don't know. Do we need to waste any more time? Or do we pull this trailer up and take a look at it?
Dude, let's get into it.
Let's do this. All right, so let's pull that up and we will cue you up.
Is that Earth?
All right, already I'm getting excited. You got the Duel of Fates music going on.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
pretty cool. It's pretty cool. All right, let's go.
Any sense. Worlds will change. People will change. In ways
It's
we
so
cannot
tight how everything just kind of like flops. Everybody takes a flip.
What was that?
I said I love how like everything that's let's say light side flips to dark side. Everything that's dark side flips to light side, or like yeah, like even the Ewoks, they're bounty hunters. Like what's
Yeah,
going on? The Geonosians are the Jedi. It's crazy.
dude, the AT-ATs with the Rebel Alliance symbols on them. Oh,
Yeah.
dude, come on, come on.
I don't love that. This is wild. X-Men TIE Fighter. Ewok bounty hunters.
Yeah. There it is.
These are going to hurt you.
Yes. Insane.
Yeah, dude,
Absolutely insane. Insane. Just love that, man.
it's cool because I feel like ever since like Christmas, we had the rumors of a Dark Millennium Falcon. It was supposed to be all black. There's going to be a all white Darth Vader minifig, a dark side C3PO, dark side Ray, and then there's also it said Gungan with like 3 question marks, and you're like Gungan, like maybe like Captain Tarples or just a Jar Jar minifig. It's Darth Jar Jar finally. So this is really cool.
So do you think the Lego will actually make that as a set?
It is. It's coming out this summer.
Oh no, get out of here.
Mm-hmm.
That is going to be tight. That
Yep,
is
it's going to be the play scale Millennium Falcon, $160 play scale, but it's going to be black with red pieces, and then yeah, all of those minifigs. It's because Darth Vader's all black, so in this Rebuild the Galaxy, everything's flipping. So it's going to be Darth Vader but all white. So
that's going to be
and
fire.
if I'm not mistaken, he might have a blue lightsaber. So there's going to be a lot going on, and plus the Dark Side Ray minifig, I gotta have that.
But you know what? I think everybody's going to jump on that, knowing the craze to buy minifigs. Like people are buying the Vetonator just to get that. So I wouldn't be surprised if that's a hot commodity for Lego collectors. They'll be
Yeah.
jumping on that. But I don't know. I was pretty blown away with just that 1 minute trailer that we got. It's awesome.
I'm ready to see Jedi Bob's story too, because he's kind of like a meme. Like everyone's like, when are we getting Jedi Bob? And of course, he has the yellow skin tone, like an OG Lego minifigure. So that's gonna be really cool to see how his character plays in, because he's actually getting his own set as well with the Jedi Bob's Jedi Starfighter. So he's gonna have his own to match the Obi-Wan Kenobi one from Attack of the Clones. So it's gonna be good. It's gonna be real good.
Yeah, man. I'm very excited for it. I think it's going to give everyone something to be entertained and watch, something to talk about at the water cooler come the next workday. Plus,
Yeah.
for all the collectors and builders, you're going to have some new merch and some fun with that to expand. So that's really cool. That is really, really cool. So let's take a look and see if we got any questions and stuff here. Good morning. I have the slave on micro. And do you guys consider Star Wars Lego Disney Plus shows canon? Oh, that's a good question from Christopher Sayers Stars. Do you consider the Star Wars Lego Disney Plus show canon? No. Just having fun.
Yeah, it's having fun, and at the same time, it's just I feel like it's gonna give a lot of like kids too, like the Lego aspect. It's like, oh, like I have Legos, or oh, I want Legos, and they watch this and they're like, oh, it's Star Wars. So this is kind of like the gateway into watching the original trilogy, prequel trilogy, sequel trilogy. So it's kind of stepping stones. They got to make it look cool and fun in a way to kind of gravitate towards the what's canon. So
yeah, I like the whole fact that it's getting all mixed up, because it encourages them just to explore and have creative play. I think that's just brilliant in all aspects. So, I mean, if you're gonna eventually have a UCS collector in their late 20s, 30s, get them hooked when they're kids now, right? Get them a series like this, get them sets like this. That's just going to encourage that play. And let's see how many more future Star Wars content creators we make out there. For all we know, there is some young kid that's going to be the Anakin that's going to eventually work at Lucasfilm one day, right? You never know. You never know.
Right.
It could be Broom Boy. He's picking up his first Lego set now, right? So you don't know. But I was going to say, I know today's episode is going to be a little bit shorter, but did you want to kind of talk about what the future of Bricks and Pops is going to be? Give people a little rundown of what to expect here in the coming end of the month.
Yeah, especially with, like I said, I mentioned just a few sets. There is a lot of sets that are going to be coming out within just the next month. We just had we had the January 1st wave. A lot of that was just battle packs, sets that weren't too crazy. But once March came around, we got to see the Starship collection. So we're getting the Millennium Falcon, the Invisible Hand, getting a prequel set finally. This is awesome. And then the Tantive. So they've already done a good drop there. R2D2 as well, and boarding the Tantive 4 as well. Ricky just had that built this week, which is a phenomenal set. Like it's very, very good.
And I like the doors. The doors open and shut. Like blown away, because I'm personally thinking of getting the Paz Vizsla set, him against the Praetorian Guard.
Gotta have
just
that.
The fact that door just shuts down behind him, like that's perfect. That's so unique and such a great play feature.
It's and you see that happen in Mando 3. You saw that door shut behind, and he's like, all right, here I go. So the attention to detail and how they can make it happen just like the film or this TV series. But yeah, like all of those sets that I just mentioned, like those are huge sets to the Lego Star Wars collective, in my opinion. Those are staples. And the stuff that came out this year, the UCS TIE Interceptor thing's huge.
That is
fire,
big.
man. Like they're already killing it. And then this summer there's so much more to come, but before I even get into that, we're all going to talk about that on this channel right here. So if you're into anything Lego, especially in the hot time of the year where we're really getting some good sets, and August and October is yet to come, and that's the biggest drop in my opinion. So we will go over all of that, and then of course the pop side of the channel, which I will let you go ahead and talk about that side, because the mashup is crazy. This is like getting Michael Jackson and like Willie Nelson on a song together, and
Nice.
this is what's going on.
Yeah, so not only will we be covering all the greatest of and latest and greatest of Lego Star Wars, but we'll also be covering the latest and greatest drops, rumors, things that are, you know, actually being delivered. Like, you know, for example, a lot of people probably got packages from Toy Temple recently. But
Ooh, I wonder what's in there.
ooh, what is in that? Well, if you're in the know, you probably realize there's an Ezra Bridger from the season finale in there, which is a
Yeah.
Toy Temple exclusive. So very excited I have to record that unboxing today. So very excited to be able to bring you guys a marriage of both of our channels, as well as kind of dropping the knowledge on things that are in the stores, things that are, you know, currently being shipped. Again, any rumors or leaks that we hear of, and, you know, just talking about what things we've pre-ordered or what things we've gotten in our collection and add it to both our love of Lego and Funko. So very, very,
Yes.
very excited for this new adventure that we're on. We've got a few more peeps in there. We wait so long for Star Wars. What if we get delivered in Lego in all forms? Right.
What's up, JT?
Yeah. If you guys haven't seen JT, you need to check his mad skills out with a lightsaber, man. I'm telling you, he swung one the other day, and I was like, dude, that's impressive. I would not want to meet you in a dark alley to have to do a lightsaber duel. He can swing that thing like, dude, he's kind of like so good at it. He's kind of like, you know how your grandmom was in there cooking and she had that big spoon, and if you did something wrong, she didn't have to look. It was like a whoosh, you know. Yeah, he is deadly with that lightsaber. So you got to check his skills out, man.
Nah, yeah, he's new to me on Instagram, and I've been trying to show him love because he shows love too. So shout out to
Brandon, you're
JT.
Michael Jackson, and I'm Willie Nelson. Said seriously.
I had to throw two legends in, and I mean, hey, I am part black as well, so I can fit the Michael Jackson scheme. I am on the lighter side now.
There you go. Lego and Pops sound like me. Yeah, man. Yeah,
Yeah.
man.
Lego the Bounty Collector.
Just add Hot Toys now. No, Ricky, we're not. We haven't hit 2K on our channels to be affording that kind of Hot Toys moolah like you, my friend.
Bro.
But no, trust me. If Hot Toys would ever love to drop me a hot toy for me to take an image, dude, I do it in a heartbeat because I love them.
Oh yeah.
I just know that if I did that, I'd have to probably get rid of everything Funko to do that, because that's a rabbit hole that my pocket strings can't handle now. But one day, I've got kids about to go to college in the next few years. So yeah, it's maybe when they graduate, instead of buying a car, they can buy dad a hot toy for helping afford that.
There you go.
Jake G. Lovecraft with some love. Jay needs to collab with Carly King, right? Dude, that would be an epic battle, the two of them on a stage.
Just a duel. Winner takes all.
Yeah, like
Fight to the death.
Thunderdome style. Two people enter, one person leaves. Or really, it's like Tales of the Empire. We have one more test for you. Fucking tosses the saber in the middle of the ring.
That's so
One
crazy.
last
That's
test. Dude, that was dope. I really liked it.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people were kind of surprised, because to me it seemed almost like a Tales of the Sith that we've all been like, oh,
yeah.
But it wasn't. But it was cool because we got a little backstory to Morgan, and we got more going on with Barris, and then I can't remember what sister she was, the seventh sister, or I don't know.
Second sister.
Really cool. What's that?
Second sister?
I don't know. She was second sister.
Fourth? No.
I can't remember.
Fourth sister? No, fourth
maybe.
brother.
I don't know. She was cool. And in the animated form, she looked phenomenal. Like there's shots that I'm like, is that really animation? Like it looks like someone in makeup, like the lighting, the textures, like I was blown away. I know a lot of people really liked when she was grabbing the dirt, you know, Morgan Elsbeth.
Oh,
That looked really good.
I think
Christopher and
Chris mentioned that. I saw
yeah,
that on
Christopher
one
and
of
I
your
were
guys'
talking about
channel.
when Vader sits back in the chair and you get that kind of like side angle of Vader.
Yeah,
To
it's
me,
tough.
that looked like, you know, Hayden was sitting in the costume on set. Like, it was really good. Really good.
Fourth sister.
Fourth sister. Nice.
That is a good thing to bring up though, because I feel like
Lightsaber battle looks like a dance battle.
yeah, I think it would be really cool if or the way they showed the animation of Tales of the Empire, it feels like it's all a shout to the Kenobi series, the like grungy back tone, the when they're at the Inquisitorius site,
Yep.
like all of that, the colors, the way that the characters are just like sitting, pretty much, that is all the Kenobi series. And especially the fourth sister, when she was in the Kenobi series, she looked awesome. I wish we would have got just a little bit more with her.
I felt like she was almost a and she did look great, but not
Yes.
amounted to anything. Like, come on. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, I was a little disappointed with that. I mean, I love to see more of that kind of stuff. But then again, I always want more. You know,
Yes,
I want
always.
more, and
It's
I know
Star
I
Wars.
shouldn't.
Yeah, it's Star Wars. You always want more,
Right.
especially if you like it and you're allowing yourself to like it. You know.
Yeah, and I think that's one of the reasons that I think I'm excited to do this with you, is because we are very, I think, positive on the Star Wars, and a lot of our fans are very positive about Star Wars. So we're not bringing baggage, right? And I think
Right.
one thing that you and I have agreed on is when there's content, I'm just excited that there's content, and there'll be things I might not always 100% agree with. I think is awesome, but there's always something in every piece of Star Wars that's dropped that I've enjoyed. Like,
Oh yeah.
Star Wars Visions is a great example of that. Like, did I like all of them? No, but there are probably 3 or 4 in each of the 2 seasons that really stood out to me. And I
Yes.
think if you've been living under a rock on Tatooine, you might not realize, but I think Star Wars and Lucasfilm are setting the breadcrumbs for something much larger.
I
And
agree.
I think that, to me, and I'm curious of your thought. I've been saying with my co-host on the podcast that I think is leading to the path, like something path driven, like an underground railroad kind of series or something with Jedi, or about Jedi or Force users. There has to be something like that, because you've got Kenobi highly invested in that storyline.
Mm-hmm.
You've got, Ventress making her little appearance, right? And you, being a huge Quinlan Voss fan, kind of know from Dark Disciple where that was leading, right?
Mm-hmm.
We have the Quinlan connection from Kenobi about the path. I mean, quite literally pointing that out, like literally. And then, in season 2 of the Visions, we had that kind of Hindu version of like the Star Wars
Yeah.
story. That was awesome. That one with the 2 canes that turned into lightsaber, or the cane turned
It's
into
tight.
2 lightsabers. Like, and then the little girl gets taken from her brother, right? Because she's kind of like a force wielder herself. And that woman identifies her and is like, you got to come. This isn't for you. This is her journey. So I think, to me, all things lead to this path. And I don't know what to call it. I call it the path, the underground railroad for force users, Jedi, whatever. I definitely think we're going to see some kind of story in that. And I'm curious now, is Skeleton Crew kind of hints on that? I've always heard that was kind of like a Lost in Space, so maybe that has nothing to do with that, and it's its own thing. But I feel that that's where we're heading. I don't know your thoughts.
Yeah, man. I mean, yeah, I've been saying since early March that it's just time, because getting that getting that Bad Batch 3 trailer, and we get Asajj, and like just the fact she was only in it for one episode, and it was a short episode. It was just kind of weird, because like I just don't see the point of just bringing her back just for a short amount of time without, and then we know she's like, I got a few more lives left. Like, okay,
Yeah.
what does that mean though? Like, So she's got some more stuff to go through, and I feel like with her and Quinlan, being the having the relationship that they have, um, I just feel like that is just an open story, because how many people do you know that are love Asajj Ventress? There's I know people that don't even like the Clone Wars, but they're like, who's that bald chick? She's dope. Like
Oh,
that's awesome.
she was great in that Tokarski version. The guy who did like the Samurai Jack animation, Cartoon Network Clone Wars. She was
Yeah.
awesome in that. Like, one of my favorite animated pieces was Asajj and Anakin fighting in the rain, and you could hear the rain hit the lightsabers going.
Oh yeah.
Dude, that scene was. I was honest to God hoping we'd get that Clone Wars style. Like that. That was awesome. Awesome.
Yeah. 2002, I believe, 2003.
Yeah, that was a great episode, man.
Which is really cool because, like, you just get Attack of the Clones in 2002, and then you get that, like, the 2D episode, and then we're like, oh, General Grievous, he's going to be in the next one. Asajj Ventress, here's her. She fights Anakin, shows that he's a little more battle tested, but she's not in the show. But then we get Clone Wars, in 2007, and you really get to see, where Asajj Ventress was, why she wasn't in episode 3. But then again, talking about Quinlan Vos on the Path, they shout out Kenobi tells Anakin that Quinlan Vos has a battalion of troops in Boss Pity. Like, what is the point of just name dropping a character that we get one episode of the Clone Wars, and then the only other time we see him is in Phantom Menace, just as a background character, and then he's and then he's a background vision in the in one of Anakin's visions, and it's so weird, because it's like you can't keep name dropping a character and not get him. I think we have Darth Jar Jar before Quinlan Vos. You know what I'm saying? In modern day.
Darth Jar Jar is great for the humor factor. That's what hits on that Lego, on the Rebuild the Guy. That hits home. But I honestly don't think Quinlan should be in really brought up in that, because I think there's going to be something serious with that. I really do. I think that there is something mounting that we are unaware of, but they've left breadcrumbs like Hansel and Gretel, leading us down that path, So I'm really hoping it is something with that. And I think Jimmy from Explore the Force had an interview with the actor that portrays Asajj Ventress, and she kind of said we were going to get an appetizer, possibly an entree, and maybe a little dessert like teaser. So if she's saying that, okay, the cat's out of the bag. We've already seen Asajj in the Bad Batch, right? So
that's the
appetizer. That our appetizer? Is that an amuse bouche? Is that to amuse our palate for more? I don't know. I'm excited for more. I want more.
Mm-hmm. I was gonna say, I help manage a restaurant. I know how the levels of food come. Once you get that appetizer going, you're ready for the next big thing. The main reason why you're there.
Yeah.
This meal has to be scrumptious. And then that has to be the path. And give me some Quinlan Vos. Maybe the dessert is just kind of her farewell, like her going off. Maybe she goes into exile, depending on what happens. Maybe they come back to light. Who knows? The Empire, especially in that time, the Empire is reigning. They're taking over everything, and they're in their prime. But then we get to see Asajj Ventress, who was once on the dark side, kind of manipulating all sides of the Force. Same thing. Quinlan Vos does the same. So what's better than putting those two together, doing the right thing?
Yeah, and I think when we saw Tales of the Jedi, Barriss Offee kind of hints to a character, a female character. And I'm trying, and I'm like you. I'm like, okay, who should we be talking about? Okay, there's Ahsoka, who she screwed over and framed, and that's why she got sentenced right into jail. But who also worked with Asajj Ventress, right? Was in cahoots with her. So and Asajj realized that Barriss was doing Ahsoka dirty, so she kind of switched sides back then. And Asajj has done that a couple of times. She's fought with Kenobi on an episode too. So fought with Anakin, against Anakin. So it's kind of interesting, that character. So I think we will flush it out. I do think all things really seem to lead to this kind of, you know, path, or
Yes.
I don't I just can't see it not at this point. There's too many little breadcrumbs and stories that kind of leave it open ended for that. And it would be great because it could even connect us to why, when we see Kenobi and we see in the Inquisitory, why were those people frozen like they were like
Yeah.
in the what do you call it, from Jurassic Park when they're in the resin or whatever?
Yeah. They're like in the little like Star Wars tombs.
Yeah. Like, what is that? Are they dead? Are they frozen in animation? You know, we don't know, but we could eventually find that out, you know. Are
Right.
they being collected for this mere power of the bringing back a Palpatine? Like, if you kind of hit some of these things and kind of bring those pieces together, we might get answers that could. I know a lot of people aren't fans of the sequel trilogy, but these are things that could maybe better explain it, maybe improve upon it, or give us more stories so that when you see those people frozen, you know, in the Inquisitorium as prisoners or whatever, you can now know, okay, they're either dead or they're just, you know, hibernated, frozen, you know, and you know, they're gonna suck their juice, you know, their midichlorians out somehow. I have no idea. Maybe there's use them for blood samples, but it would
Yeah.
be neat if we got some connective tissue that kind of puts that together. And I think we're getting there. I mean, we didn't have any huge real announcements except for merch for the Star Wars. We got
Yeah.
Tales of the Empire, and that was it. So I think anyone, like all of our friends going, like I know Jedi Lex is planning to go, Ricky, Tony from Star Wars Sith, a lot of I think Andrea, even from Padawan Chronicles, they're all looking to go to Star Wars Celebration, and I am so happy they are. I can't go, so I'm going to live vicariously through their adventures and
Yes.
their content, really, to kind of make me feel as though I'm there. But I think they're going to get the answer to a lot of these questions. I really do. It's been such a long, quiet time. I think that Disney, Marvel, Star Wars, Lucasfilm, they're all kind of putting their eggs back into the basket and trying to plan what's going to happen next. And I think Marvel just showed through animation with that X-Men 97 that like
Yeah.
really great, compelling stories that'll bring tears to people's eyes, that are going to shock and awe. And it can be done just in animation. And kind of doing it in a retro style like they did. Everything was just really hit on the mark. So if you're a comic book collector, a Uncanny X-Men fan, dude, that nailed it for me. I thought that was pretty cool. So I think
Yeah.
Star Wars is probably kind of regrouping, right? We got some good and bad with the Kenobi series, you know. I think they've shot that down for a season 2, though I would love them to, you know, recant that and
It's
give us
back on the talks again.
so I think there's stories to be told. So I'd be kind of psyched to see what they can come up with next. As we got some more comments here. That begs the question, do we want a what if or more cooler character stories? I also agree Asajj versus Anakin on Yavin is the top 3 duels of all time.
So
Yeah,
fire.
that was good. That was really good. And gotta go fast. Hey, what's going on, buddy? And Misa gonna hurt you. I love that. I love that. Like, I know I get a lot of crap because I wasn't a huge fan of Jar Jar in the prequels, but as I always say, I love Ahmed Best. I love everything he did because I might not like with the character, but you know, I understood why he was there. You know, because
Yeah.
I was older. I was much older then, so I can understand he's there for the kids and have that humor 100%. And he hit the mark. And all those kids, you know, younger than you even, that grew up with the prequels, that
Mm-hmm.
that character's beloved to them. So,
Yes.
but for us adults, we need to also, and I couldn't believe he had gotten such a rash of crap when that came out. And I feel like maybe even myself being a hater on Jar Jar, I'd rather see the movie edited without him. Maybe that adds to the fuel, but the poor actor really went down a dark path, and I'm happy he's with us and that he's done some excellent stuff. But I think we are seeing a lot more kind of love for Jar Jar and actor, but I personally love the fact that he was the first motion cap, the first CGI. Like, he was the first in what is now like an industry standard, right? You know,
Right.
25 years ago, this was unheard of. You know, the closest we probably had is like a Who Framed Roger Rabbit, where it really blended animation and stuff like that. Like, you know, so we didn't have any kind of CG till we got to Jar Jar like that. You know, I think you had the Abyss and the Terminator, that liquid chrome guy, and the water spirit thing
God,
in
that shit
the
was so
Abyss,
cool.
right? So I think this is really kind of heading to that direction. We got Mandalorian season 3, where we got that awesome flashback, and
Keller
we
and
got
Beck.
Keller and Beck, which to me, I'm uber nerd and I have young ones, so I have the YouTube Star Wars Kids channel, and I watched the Jedi Trials that he would host as Keller and Beck. So for me, as soon as I heard get on the Keller and Beck, I was like, what? Oh, I know who that is. That's the guy who played Jar Jar. Like, oh my god, no way! And when that elevator door opened and it was him, I was like, that's so cool.
It's okay, kid. I'm gonna get you out of here. And it's
Yeah,
like, what?
and he got to show off all his martial arts. Like, that's one thing
Oh, yeah.
people I failed to understand. This guy was not goofy and silly. Like, he's really serious. Like, he knows martial arts. He's like a 3rd degree black belt. He's like high ranking in like 2 other martial art forms. Like, this guy's badass. So
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
very excited he got to show that, wielding 2 lightsabers, kicking some clone ass, and then I love the speeder bike with the sidecar.
Yes.
That was dope. Actually, thinking that, I almost picked that up. I think it was like $29.99 for that
Yep.
Lego. I almost picked that up the other day. I was like, "Ooh, do I get this? Do I hold?" I held back. But
It'll go down here soon. I would give it maybe like 5 months. I could see Amazon knocking it down maybe $5, but it won't go lower than that, I don't think, for
No.
the foreseeable future. That Keller and Beck thing, like, I have 4 Grogus, 5 Grogu minifigs. That Keller and Beck, though, the robe is clean, got the touch of gold on there, and
Yeah.
hopefully we're gonna see more of that in the Acolyte. But on a minifig and it's Ahmad Best, Keller and Beck, yes,
I haven't gotten a Funko of
2
that.
lightsabers.
I have not gotten a Funko of that, and anyone that knows me and my channel, I'm huge. That's basically what I do, just Star Wars
Yeah.
Funko. But there's someone that has done a custom Keller and Beck, and I was almost about to drop 150 bones to get that. Dude, it was legit awesome, like phenomenally done. And I was gonna, because he did the box, the figure, like the whole 9. I was gonna do it just so I can get Ahmad Best to sign it. And I'm still debating, because I think in June they have FanFest Boston Con or whatever. I'm not going to go to that. I'm tempted to, but I really want to save my P's and Q's to do some kind of vacation with the kids this summer. And the whole family wants to go to RI Comic Con come November. So
Nice.
And I'm on the hook too, because I need to finish my my cosplay for the 501st. I have the TIE Fighter jumpsuit. I just got to get the boots, the belt, the gloves, and then the regular hat, because I can kind of be more like a deck officer and take my time to then upgrade to the helmet and chest piece. But depending on what happens this summer, I might just go ahead and order the helmet and chest piece, and then slowly just get the gloves 1 week, get the boots another week. We'll see. My friend's really he's really pressuring me to finish that up, because he's already got all his pieces. So he's like, "Come on, you got to do it.
Hurry."
Yeah, right. But it's I've never cosplayed. I have not been. This would be my first actual con, because I was really trying to think. I really want to go to ICC down in was it Nashville, Tennessee, or whatnot. But Chris and I were planning to go, but I just don't think it's in the cards for either of us. So we decided what we'll try to do is I'll try to go to I think the Niagara Falls Con. They have something in that area. I'm going to try to go to that and meet Chris there. And then the next, I don't know if it's going to be this November or possibly the following November. Chris is going to cruise down, take a plane, and come down to Rhode Island, and he's going to join us at the RI Comic Con.
Nice.
Because I could put him up. He wouldn't have to pay to stay anywhere. All he has to do is get a ticket. So
yeah.
And my wife had such a great time. And speaking to Lex and Tony and Ricky and all those that have gone to these, and also kind of learning from my wife's experience, she got to meet Charlie Hunnam because she's a huge fan of him and Sons of Anarchy. So
Oh, okay, okay, okay.
I really want to know, like, well, what's it like? Noah just met Hayden Christensen,
It's one
a
of the
bunch of
best
those guys.
feelings ever.
Yeah, and they said, you know what? To get an image with them is one thing. You get 10, 15 seconds. You're so starstruck. And before it can sink in, you're already moved on and gone. But I think for me, if I was going to do a picture moment, it would have to be Mark Hamill. It has to be him. And if not, if I'm going to do like a signature, I think I want to do more of that with anybody that I can actually see and talk to, because I think that would be where that fan experience would be a little more than just the picture.
Yeah.
So I am looking to see. There's some heavies that are coming. Like the one that I'm most excited for, Ray Parks. So I
Yeah,
have
dude.
two figures signed by him, but I never had a Funko signed or anything. So what I was thinking of doing when I go is get some of my images made. And I was debating, do I get an image signed and give that out on the channel? And then also give one to each of the actors that portray the character. So I'm kind of thinking of gifting them something and seeing if they can sign something. I don't know. We'll see. We'll
Yeah,
see.
that's a good look. I mean, shit. That'd be dope to know that Ray Park has some of your art, that's
Yeah, that would be kind of fun.
yeah. And
Um,
it's such a good experience too when you meet these actors, because like when I met Hayden in Denver, I was just like it was orchestrated very poorly, and it was just kind of like they didn't know if something went bad, like in the lining anyways, like because it was all by groups and letters, numbers, the whole alphabet, the whole number, and it was just weird. But we waited 3 hours, which, I mean, it's Hayden Christensen, you know what I'm saying, and all the
yep.
love he's been getting since the Kenobi series, which, I mean, I don't, it's just one of those things,
Dude,
these
Ricky says
actors.
he gets lost and mesmerized in his eyes. Noah
Yeah,
was like, I know what you're saying now. Tony's like, see, I told you. So, like, I need that experience. I need to see,
yeah,
I need to feel it, because these guys, I mean, they're grown men and they grew up with these guys. And so to me, like, I understand. And I think being an old school trilogy fanatic for years, what could turn any grown man, 52-year-old into a 5-year-old in a nanosecond? Meeting Mark Hamill. Like,
Mark Hamill.
I think I got to do it. I think I got to do
Yeah,
it, and just see. I'm always amazed at how kind and generous he is to the community. Going out, because even that one girl that traveled like 1,800 miles just to see him and get that picture with them, he acknowledged that on his channel.
oh yeah,
He did a video clip with her. Like, that's awesome. You don't get
that
a
is
lot
dope.
of actors that would be willing to have fun like that. And I think that's one thing for the Star Wars fandom and the Star Wars actors that we see of recent. Look at them. You've got Ashley Eckstein, Rosario Dawson, all love for one another and love for their fans, and will sit there and sign and do video clips and chat with you. That's
Yep.
awesome. No one who's ever really been with some of these characters have felt like they were rushed necessarily or brushed off or not being appreciated for being a fan of them. And I think
Yeah.
that experience alone has made me like, you know what, I need to go to a con. I definitely want to do this. So D. Bradley Baker's coming. Was it Giancarlo Esposito? Like, dude, it's gonna be. I'm super psyched, and
Yeah.
we are not even close to even bigger announcements. So I'm hoping. Now, like I said, I know Noah just went to Fan Fest in Philadelphia, and he loved his experience. He has a video just on that. Tony, I think, interviewed him because, again, that experience is something that, like, if a true fan, it's a once in a lifetime thing. And I
Mhm.
even always laughed at how Ricky said, because it is costly, but he said, I'll let future Ricky worry about how I'm paying for it, which always made me laugh because he's right. Like, if you just got to rip it off like a band-aid, do it, figure out how you pay for it somehow, because you might not get that experience, like, hell, if you're waiting for Carrie Fisher back in the day, and then you missed that opportunity. Like, Christopher got to meet Grief Karga, Carl Weathers.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
that came out of the blue. Like, Ray Stevens out of the blue, like no one was expecting it. It wasn't like he was ill you never know. So I think having those experiences kind of adds something to the fandom and to that connectivity that we all have,
Yep. No, it's crazy, man. That's that's how I'm sitting with cons right now. Is I want to meet Ewan McGregor and Tamora Morrison, and I think I'm good for right now. Anyways, that's because I already got Hayden out the way. I've met C. Andrew Nelson, who actually played. He's actually spent the most time in a Darth Vader suit for like early Lucas films, like early 2000s. Helped do a lot of the visual effects for Attack of
Nice.
the Clones. So I mean, I've met them, but like Hayden was my number one. Once I got that done, I could just finally like breathe, sit back a little bit, So
Right. So I know for me, I think I told you I had pushed back my wedding date when we were planning, knowing I had a job for Seton Hall Law that gave me the opportunity to meet James Earl Jones. So I was
yeah,
like, if it was Maya Angelou, any of the others, Tim Russert, I would have just given the gig to somebody. Hey, can you do this gig for me? I'm not going to be around. I have my wedding. When it was James Earl Jones, I'm like, honey, let's push that back to the next week, please. And he heard about it and laughed. So, getting his autograph, but I totally forgot. And I went through boxes, and that's where I found my Ray Parks signed Darth Mauls. I knew I had those, but there's a figure. And you know how you thought you have something, then you can't find it, and you're just like, well, maybe I imagined I had it. Maybe I thought I had it,
right.
and I really didn't. I had purchased a friend of ours was going to Star Wars Celebration 3. And I said, I gave him money. I said, dude, there's something cool. He's like, oh, there's usually a figure they do. I said, oh, definitely. If there's a cool figure. So I gave him money. He got me the Star Wars Celebration 3 exclusive Darth Vader, where they literally went to James Earl Jones and recorded his voice specifically for what the message is on that figure. Super cool.
Damn.
I finally found it in that one box that I had, in the corner since I moved, like 8-9 years ago to this house. It just kind of got moved and just never gone through again. Not like just put somewhere. And so when I came across it, I found a bunch of cool stuff. And then I realized, because I've always had this regret that I never got to have David Prowse sign the 2 figures that James Earl Jones did. Because like if I could get his signature, we lost him, unfortunately. And I've always wanted to meet him.
Yeah.
But when I pulled out that Celebration 3 figure, my boy hooked me up and got him to sign it. And I was like, oh my God, I can't believe it. I totally forgot he did that for me. So cool to have a friend that thought of that much of me to do that, standing.
Right.
And again, cons probably weren't as big then when Celebration 3 was coming out as they are now. But he was the guy that stood probably in a 2-3 hour line to get that done for me. And when I realized it was signed, I totally forgot that it was even signed. I just couldn't find the figure. I was kind of crushed by it. So
Right.
yeah, I think when I do go to a con, I'll definitely have to do that. Like I'm really thinking of building a Keller and Beck Lego set and getting a plaque made, having Ahmad Best sign that and put that with the set. I just love
That'd be
it.
tight.
Yeah, and again, I might every once in a while I see a toy that just piques my curiosity. Like I did these toys from the Young Jedi Adventures. Really piqued my curiosity. I almost picked up the ship. The ship is like on sale for less than $25 from that. It's a $45 ship typically, and at Target it is like really reduced right now. Like I was this close to just picking it up because I was like, that can make a really cool image. So
Yeah.
you never know. It's something just inspires me. Amusing King, another person I watch his toy photography. He did that little Gungan ship where he made
Oh
it
yeah.
flying under the water. It was really cool, and it was funny because I saw it, and instantly when I saw it in the store, that was my kind of how I envision it. Then I saw his image. I'm like, and there's this guy, and there's another guy, Fonso Pop, that I do a lot of likes and share of his stuff. And there's many a time where like right on this, our heads are right in the same image in our head. So I
Damn.
saw that and I was like
Hell
blown
yeah.
away. What's up, Lex?
Lex?
Misa excited for Jar Jar. Misa
Yeah.
excited too. Me so excited too. Now Lex
Me so
was
too.
down for the count. She was sick and hopefully on the mend. So Lex, please rest up. Glad that you came on, giving us some support, but please get some rest, hon. Yeah, you really need it. She was really down for the count. The poor thing's been busting her ass doing clinicals and finishing up that semester nursing. Now she's
Yeah.
back different hours doing the night shifts soon. So yeah, she's been busy. And her sister just graduated like a week or so ago. So she's been a busy little person there.
May the force be with you.
Goki, what's up, BC?
What
You got a
up,
little shout
man?
out there.
The homie Gage.
Jar Jar Sith Command. Yeah, everybody's going nuts over at Darth Jar Jar. Everybody.
Hell
So
yeah, bro.
cool.
It's so cool.
So cool. Well, with that, I don't think there's really much more for us to cover today, except for tell people to stay tuned. We'll be doing, like we said, end of the month, monthly wrap ups, and this will be the format that we'll do. We'll do a live stream. We'll kind of go through rumors, what's hitting the shelves, what's hitting the postage. What postage is
Yep.
there coming in packages. So, what do you got to say, Brandon? Anyone, anything, or any more to add?
Man, yeah, for everyone who tuned in for like the pilot episode today, this is awesome. Thank you guys,
Thank you so
for
much.
coming out. And like I said, the collaboration within the Instagram community is, it's tremendous. I think everyone's cool, and this is a good way to kind of show off, what we know for different things. I mean, we spend, hard-earned money on all of these items, and it tickles our fancy. It's insane how some plastic brings so much joy when you really look at it. So I mean, that's what this is all about. You might as well kind of show the interest and continue to show the passion towards it. So I mean, hey, Funkos, Legos, that's
I
what half of
agree.
my channel consists of. So all of the collecting, and it brings all of us together, Chris, Lex, Gage, like all of us collecting, Patrick, it's this is a really cool
It's a
thing,
great
and it's
community,
fun.
and I'm glad you say that because I oftentimes hear the fandom menace a lot, like especially in press, like Star Wars fans are such paint it in a negative light. But I go to scratch my head, like I really want to see who are those toxic people, because everyone that I have met through our community has been nothing but salt of the earth. They're all lovers of Star Wars. When I went out to Disney and did the Halcyon, I got to actually experience the Starship Cruiser, and being on Lady H was such an experience. I mean, absolutely great experience. And I hope to God they figure a way to bring that back into more of the masses, making it maybe more attainable, more affordable, I think is really the key. And maybe
Yeah,
it doesn't need to be you're locked in where you're doing the cruise and you're there for 2 days and all this. Maybe it's just you see a show or there is a live action presentation at this time. And maybe they do it more like that. I don't know. But even on that trip, meeting total strangers. Like I became friends with a couple on that trip. My brother-in-law and I got to bond even more because of Star Wars and that.
yeah,
Those there, the Disney castmates made it so special, and it made it about you. And again, I thought I was going on a kid thing. The fandom that Star Wars had, when you go to something like that, you're meeting people from all over. Like I met a guy from Germany. His son was having a hard time, because he didn't really speak English that well. Um,
hmm
and I mentioned to a castmate, they had someone there the next day come over from Epcot that can speak so they can address the kid and kind of get him excited and talking a lot more. But again, it's those things that I see the fans do for each other.
right,
Um, and I don't see all that negative a lot. I just see nothing but the love of content, sharing of ideas, collaborations like we're doing here today. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for my friend Christopher over at Seriously Star Wars. I think it just turned to me kind of watching him and then commenting here and there. And then one day he asked if I again, I don't think when I first started, I didn't even show myself. I just show like here's the image and here's like a behind the camera, and that was it. And then it's a year and a half later, here we are, almost 2 years, and this is where
crazy.
we're at. It's exciting, it's fun. And again, I'm appreciative of the community that we have. I thank you all for being here. Brandon, I thank you for being part of this community and a friend. And Christopher and Lex, my cohorts in crime. Trust me, I'm probably bothering them all the time about, oh, how do you do this? And how do we do this? And I have this idea. And we're all still figuring things out, like
Yeah.
unfortunately, I think I got us copyright striked because I own a copyright to Epidemic subscription. And if I use the music, and that's why we didn't have our countdown today, in case people are wondering, like, there was just a quick intro. We're going to have a countdown, but I didn't want to get risk a copyright strike on us, especially on our first pilot. So,
Get him out of there.
Get out of there. So, again, we're all learning different things and tools, but it's been great to have everybody here in the community supporting us. It's great to have friends like you, Brandon. And again, I'm so appreciative, and I'm very excited for what this new show segment is going to offer both to us.
Yep.
And I think it's going to be fun. I think we couldn't have planned for a more entertaining segment, in my opinion, with the 25th anniversary of Legos this year, 25th anniversary of Phantom Menace. We're kind of getting our kind of anniversaries of our first, year or more in YouTube. So we're kind of learning a little bit more. It just kind of is the perfect storm. Everything just kind of came together, and very excited for what the future brings to this
Absolutely
this segment, man.
Yes.
So with that, I guess we just bid you a good afternoon, and we will see you on the next episode. May the force be with you all.